And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to At the Track Live. I am Coach James. I am the creator of and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. Now, what is All About Aerodynamics, you ask? Glad you asked, even if you didn't ask. All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic force, a whole range of science topics. After we've covered all of the science topics and conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student has the opportunity to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything that they have learned in the class. Once they've selected their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, the materials the car is made from, all the information that they can observe, they put that information into a spreadsheet, and then the only thing left to do is to race the cars. So they set up a 1/64 scale quarter-mile drag strip and race the cars and observe how their cars performed. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that same car again, or would they make a different choice based on everything that they have learned in the class? In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars and we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, all you have to do is go to our website, aaAerodynamics.com, or you can find us on Instagram, aaAerodynamics, and all the information you need to contact me is in the bio, and we can discuss how to bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics presents At the Track Live. So with At the Track Live, it gives me an opportunity to add to those cars. I said I bring 400 cars for the students to use, but there are actually 1,024 different Hot Wheels cars that I have to choose from, because like most collectors and enthusiasts, every time I go to a store, I go down that aisle to check out what Hot Wheels cars are new or cool or interesting, and I pick them up. And I can only use them with the students after I have cataloged them and have them in the spreadsheet. So that means I have to take a picture, I have to get a little short video clip, I have to put the name of the car into the spreadsheet, get all that information so that the cars are ready to go, so that I can put them back in the right place after the students have used them and they can be ready to go. So I have crates of Hot Wheels cars in storage that I haven't opened. So At the Track Live gives me the opportunity to go into those crates, grab those cars, bring them out, open them up. We'll do a little review. I get my picture, get my video, and then since the track is already set up, we race the cars. So we're going to have a little tournament with the new cars that are introduced. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate, and all you have to do, if you want to participate in today's races, is you go to AtTheTrack.live, AtTheTrack.live. And when you get there, you're going to have 3 options. One is going to be the YouTube stream link, one is going to be the Twitch stream link, but the third link is the most important link. That's the one that says choose your car. And if you select that option, you will be taken to this page. And on this page, you will find all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics At the Track Live fleet listed. Now, as you scroll through, if you find a car that you're interested in, that you think will be faster than the other cars that are selected, you can click on it. So let's say it's number 45. this 24/7. You click on that. You can take a closer look at it, and from the reflection, you can kind of see whether it's a metal body on a plastic base, plastic body on a metal base, metal body on a plastic base, whatever the combination may be. In some cases, it's metal on metal. If that makes a difference to you, it should, but maybe it doesn't. But once you find the car that you want, all you have to do is take that number, drop it into the chat. I will pull that car, and boom, just like that, you are in today's tournament. When you go to this page, I just made changes, finished yesterday. I mentioned we have 1,024 different cars to choose from. And previously, all 1,000 of the cars were listed on this page. So you'd scroll through 1,000 cars. I made a change yesterday so that I split this up. So now we only have about 200 cars per page. So we get down to 200, and then boom, click, go over to the next page, pick up the rest of the cars. And I broke these up like this because Christopher had mentioned, hey, Christopher and Roughshod, had mentioned having an app to be able to search through the cars. And I had thought about that, and I started kind of trying to kind of vibe code out an app. But what happened was the app had to reference the page with all the cars. And because I had 1,000 cars on the page, it overwhelmed. It was like more data than the AI thing I was using could pull out. So I decided to break up the pages, and that might make it easier. It's also maybe for people who might have a slower internet connection or something. It's probably easier and faster for them to be able to load 200 cars and 200 images as opposed to 1,000 images all at the same time. So all the cars are still here. They're just split up over, I think it's probably like 6 pages. And all the cars are still here. We have character cars, we have hypercars, we have fantasy cars, we have trucks, we have SUVs, we have cars that I can't even really explain, like this one, number 47, the Shadow Jet. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I have a feeling, I can't see from the reflection, that this probably has disc wheels, which we've had a couple of cars with disc wheels do well, but in general, you want cars that have more traditional Hot Wheels wheels. But hey, if this is your thing, we have this. We have the Shadow Jet. I don't remember how it performed, but if you want to go more, let's say you want to go old school, we've got a 76 Chevy Chevette. I like this car. I don't remember how it performed. I'm never a fan when they have 2 different types of wheels, which is what it looks like they have on this one. But otherwise, still a cool little car. We have, this is another one that I like that is terrible on the track. This Lincoln Continental. I have 2 of these. I have this one, which is the mainline version, which means it has just the standard Hot Wheels wheels. And then I have a nicer version, which is the Matrix version that has rubber wheels, and it's a really nice car, one of my favorite cars. But cars with rubber wheels do not do well on the track, and that has been well established. Some things we can get around. Rubber wheels create too much friction, and it just does not work. But like I said, we have all types of cars. So whatever kind of car that you're looking for, we have some version of it if we don't have the exact car. And part of the reason that I was working, trying to create some kind of app, is to also create a search function. And the purpose of the search function is so that you don't have to actually search through if you know the name of the car that you're looking for. And there are quite a few. There's this one, the Flattery. I don't remember how this performed, but I would think that would be pretty should have performed pretty well, I would think. I don't know. It depends on what it weighs. The weight is an a kind of interesting thing, because if your car is too light, then you're going to run into issues with drag. If your car is too heavy, you're going to run into issues with that weight, and gravity is going to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, this is the so let's see here. Yeah, with the search function, the year doesn't, well, there's a couple of things. It really depends. If when I put the search together, I can just upload my spreadsheet, then you would be able to search by the year. I don't have the wheels listed in there, because most of the cars just have, the wheels don't really make a difference unless it is, I mean, if they're the disc wheels, if they are faster than ever wheels, and I guess if they're the off-road tires, that might make a difference to some people. But for the most part, the wheels don't really have all that much to do with the car's performance. The biggest thing really is the aerodynamic profile, the weight. Those are kind of the two biggest things, and I don't have the weights listed in the spreadsheet. I don't keep track of those. That's always, because that's part of what the students have to do, is, you know, weigh the cars, and it's part of the program. But one thing, I'm looking at this one, number 537, this Ford Mustang funny car. We just posted on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok a two-part series where we took the Ford Mustang funny car, the NHRA funny car, which is this one. We just took a different version of this, and we put it up against that John Force Racing Mustang, this one. I'm sorry, Camaro, the one that was designed by that other company, this Racing Champions Mint. And this was pretty interesting, because we raced this car here, and what we found was that this car weighed in at 54 grams, which is extremely heavy. Most of the cars that we race are between 32 and 36 grams, some a little heavier, some a little lighter. If a car is 40 grams, we look at that like, that's just outrageous. This car was 54 grams. So you would have thought, initially, I thought that a car this heavy probably wouldn't even cross the finish line. But it turns out this car actually did. It crossed the finish line. It beat a couple of cars. But when I put it up against the Hot Wheels NHRA funny car Mustangs, it beat it. It not only beat this one. Hot Wheels has a couple of other funny cars. Hot Wheels has one called the Supercharged, which is in the fleet, and I did a little test to see, like, okay, maybe this heavy car was only able to beat this Hot Wheels car. Nope. I put it up against the Supercharged, it beat the Supercharged, and basically what it comes down to, which you can see in more detail in the videos, is this car made by, it's kind of confusing. This company, Round 2 Corporation, they also, I believe, are the company behind like the Auto World cars and Johnny Lightning. Like if you go to their website, there's a whole bunch of logos. So like Johnny Lightning, Auto World, some other ones. And they do a lot of model cars. But what they did is when they made this car, this is more closely resembles the actual funny car. There's a real car like this. The actual funny car, the dimensions, the shapes, everything, they got it much closer. So it's got better aerodynamics than the Hot Wheels version. And the Hot Wheels version, Hot Wheels did what Mattel does. And they, put the wheels out on the side so you could see them and did some different things. And the aerodynamic profile is not as good. And we saw that when we put the cars in the wind tunnel. What wind tunnel, you say? Every Wednesday, we have Wind Tunnel Wednesday. So Wednesdays at 4 p.m., we take cars, we put them into the FunTech Labs Windsable, which is a 1/64th scale wind tunnel. We put the cars in there, and we can see how the air flows over, under, and around those cars, and we can get an idea about the aerodynamic profile and kind of figure how much drag is going to impact the cars on the track, and then you can kind of get an idea about what their performance is going to be like. Well, when we put that car in, this heavy one had a great aerodynamic profile. The Hot Wheels car, not so much, and that played out on the track. So if you want to see how that went down and all the sort of details behind that, check out our YouTube page. It's on posted on Instagram and TikTok. But bottom line is there are 1,024 cars for you to pick from. Go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car, find the car, take the number, put it in the chat. I will pull that. We already have at least 4 viewer picked cars that we are going to be racing today, that are going to be going up against the cars that I introduced, the new cars, and we're going to see which car comes out on top. The car that comes out on top is going to have the opportunity to become our fastest in fleet car, and that means it's going to challenge this one. It is going to challenge the BlitzSpeeder. The BlitzSpeeder was brought back by Christopher a couple of weeks ago, and the BlitzSpeeder has been the most dominant car that we've ever had on the track, and it has had, I think this is the 3rd title reign, so it was our fastest in fleet champion for months. Then it was beaten by the Gazella R. Then it came back, fastest in fleet car for like the first half of last year. And then it was beaten. And then Christopher brought it back. And here it is again. And there may have been another little brief title reign because it was beaten by the Dogfighter. Then the Dogfighter was beaten by, I think, the Slide Kick. And then the BlitzSpeeder came back and beat the Slide Kick. So 1, 2, 3. This might be the 4th title reign, because then it was beaten again, and then it was out, and then it came back and won. Anyway, this car is extremely fast. It can be beaten, but it's going to take a special car. And we are going to see how long the BlitzSpeeder remains. Maybe the car that you pick is going to be the one to take out the BlitzSpeeder. Maybe one of the ones that I introduced today is going to be the one. Or, I don't know. Maybe the BlitzSpeeder just rolls on and rolls on. But the fact that we have 1,024 cars, odds are there's at least one other car that can beat the BlitzSpeeder. So we're going to find out today if we have that car. And we have some good candidates. So we're going to have a good bunch of races today, and we will see what happens. Now, the other drag car, the Hot Wired, I believe I have that one, and I may have raced that one. Let's see, Hot Wired, yeah, car number 741, the Hot Wired. I might have to put that up against, but I think the Hot Wired it's not all that different from the from this one. It's kind of got it is different, but as far as being close to the real dimensions and aerodynamics of a funny car, this Racing Mint Champions car, even though I had to pay $7 for it, it was kind of worth it in retrospect. I haven't seen, they had another one that was black, another funny car, and then they have there's like a couple of lowriders, and I've seen there was some other race car. It had like an American flag design, but it wasn't a funny car. It was just it just looked like some kind of old school dragster muscle car combo thing. But so if I see one of those, I might pick it up just to see how it performs. But yeah, I can take a look. The hot wired, and see now the issue. I need to make sure what I need to do is on this page. I need to just have the full page because my connection is fast enough that they all loaded up quickly, but now I have to do this. And I guess I also need to put one of those little number counters so I can just jump to the actual page I'm looking for. All right, car number 741. The hot wired is, oh no, it looks totally different. And that is the hot wired. And it is, could it, now depending on the weight, because it looks pretty light, that might be a big enough factor to allow it to beat the peak, the John Force Racing Camaro funny car, but I'd have to check that out. So maybe that's just another race to have. So, all right, let's see. What are we going to get into today? Well, I had to. I'm working on something where I have the track and I'm taking it out to do kind of demonstrations. And you know, the finish line that we have has sensors on it and infrared and lights, and that's how it is able to track which car wins the race. Well, that doesn't work just taking it out because, one, it's kind of delicate, and two, it needs to be plugged into power. So I needed something that wasn't, that was just sort of manual, mechanical, that could work as a finish line. So I was in Target and I saw this set, which is it's this Formula One, what do you call it? I don't know what it's called. The Formula One grid start set. And so it's got a whole countdown tree timer thing here that clocks down. And then when it drops down, the gates raise up, and then that's when you're supposed to press the little buttons to launch the cars. And that, oh, here's a better image of it. So when the gates, so this clock drops down, and then these gates lift up, and then whoever's racing the cars, you press these buttons. But they work independently. So if the person on the left presses theirs first, then their car takes off first, and that's how it works. But that's not the part I was interested in. I was interested in the finish line, which is this here. And so the flag just goes up, and then the car that comes through knocks it down, and the flag falls to one side or the other, which is just what I needed. I just need to connect that. But now Hot Wheels has started with this track. I don't know. I mean, this is what they're doing. I have plenty of the traditional, regular Hot Wheels track, but it's thicker, and I think it's supposed to be easier to connect. I don't know what the thing is. I think Mattel probably just wanted to sell, like, hey, we've been selling the same old Hot Wheels track for a long time. Maybe we can make some money selling new track. So anyway, that's why I bought this, but I don't bring it up for that reason. I bring it up because this thing came with 2 cars, and they're basically the same car, but since they're in here, I might as well take a look at least one of them, because they're the exact there's nothing different about these cars except the logo. One is the 2024 BWT Alpine F1 Team car, and the other is the 2024 Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 Team. And so there's just nothing, they're exactly the same, other than the design. So I figure, might as well add one of these to the fleet. We already have one of these, some version. We have the Red Bull one. So I guess this time we'll take the we'll take this BWT, this one, the yeah, and even on the bottom it just says Formula One Collection. So I will put in the name, but this will be the first car that we or the next car that we first car we introduced today. Feels kind of light. This actually might turn out to be something. Let's see what it weighs in at. It weighs in at 25.8 grams, so it is very light. Very light. By contrast, the BlitzSpeeder weighs in, I think it's like, BlitzSpeeder is 32.5 grams. And this F1 car coming in at 25. So let's take a look at this. Switch this over, get the video. Lock in the focus there. And grab our video. Get a little bit more light on the subject. These F1 cars they're cool, but they're basically all the same. And that's why I don't really have too many introduced in there. Let's see. This one was that was the BWT, so I'll add this in. This is going to be car number 1025. And we are moving. Oh, you have the same one, but it's called the Drag Strip Champion. Interesting. Yeah, I was I was only interested in the finish line, but I'm always interested in the way that Hot Wheels and Mattel approach the starting system, the launch system. And this one is interesting because I guess it's designed so that if two people are doing it, you're really trying to time when the gate releases so that you can launch your car, and it's kind of a reaction time thing. It is different than our launcher because our launcher guarantees that both cars release at the same time, and so there's not a chance for one car to get an advantage. There's just one switch, and both the cars launch at the same time, and therefore that is a little more fair, in my opinion. But it's just a different way to approach the racing. And in that version, let me get my still picture of this car. And I suppose I need to put in the other background with these dark colored cars against that dark background. It's usually a little hard to see. I'm going to drop this in here and get a little bit of fill light. And now we have there we go. We have yet another F1 car in the fleet, and we have our first car of the day. Let me check the year this thing was manufactured. It's very light, and we see that play out in different ways. 2024 is the year on this car, so we have our first car of the day. And let's see, I was doing pretty good the last couple of weeks of going into the storage and pulling out cars because that's the whole point. I'm supposed to go into storage and pull out these cars so that I can kind of work through this backlog of cars. But every time I go into a store, if they've got new cars, I'm going to pick them up. And so I was at Target, and now Target they'll have the cars on the pegs, and then they'll have this sort of just bin at the bottom with cars thrown in. And I was just kind of sorting through those and found some cars that I liked. So I've got a whole bag of cars in here. But I do want to at least try and work through some of the ones that are in storage. So I've got a bunch here, and we're going to see which ones we may or may not already have in the fleet. So let's go with, let's try this one first. This Corvette C7 Z06 convertible. And I'm going to check and see if we have one. Christopher, you're saying the drag strip champion has a green light dropper when you put it at the top. Oh, okay. Yeah, they have different, just different approaches. And I don't know if I just mentioned that one, the launcher, it has 2 springs in there. So the springs compress and then and then release, which it's a different approach. I tested it out. It's still not. It's the issue that I had with the other launchers, Mattel launchers that I used to use, and it's not their fault because they're just making basic toys, but they don't launch the cars out with enough force for me, and so it's an interesting approach, but it's just different. All right, Corvette C7 Z06 convertible is car number 786, so we already have one. This is a prize car. Prize cars are the cars that students have the opportunity to win based on their participation in the class, winning games, answering questions, having good citizenship, etc. All right, next up, Custom 11 Camaro, the 2011 Camaro, so let's check it out. We have Hot Wheels puts the word custom on a lot of cars. And we have a Custom 01 Acura Integra, Custom 18, Custom 62, 64, 67, 01, 56, etc., etc., etc. But no Custom 11. Double checking. Nope. All right, good. We now have, this one's going in. It is the Custom 2011 Camaro. It is one of the art cars. And the art cars always have a letter. This one has an I. And so I think each year, if you take all of the art cars and you put them together, it spells something. I don't know what, because I don't know that I have all of them from a particular year. Or if I do, I don't know it, and I don't know to put it together. But I'm sure, absolutely sure, someone online has already taken the art cars, put them together, and said whatever it is they spell. I know we have one, the Cloak and Dagger. It has an E on the top. I know that because I bought one for a friend of mine, and her name starts with an E, and that one had an E. So I'm like, oh, hey, E, here, E car. But I don't know which other ones were in that set and what they spell, so I don't know. This one has an I, so if somebody wants to look up, I don't know what year this was from, but well, I'll know in a minute. Let's crack this open. All right, let's see. 2010 is the year manufactured, but this is the 2011. So this is on the bottom of this car. It says 2011 Camaro. So now I'm looking here to see if we already have one. Yep, we do. Car number 341. So let's go ahead and take a look. So see, sometimes the name on the bottom of the car is different than the name on the package, which is why I put this information in the spreadsheet. But I always go with the information on the bottom of the car. So now we're looking at car number 341. which will be on page 2, car 341. 341 right here, and it is the same car, except that one has a plastic wing. This one has a metal wing, and that is going to be enough of a difference because it also, this one, if you see the one on the screen, the plastic wing, there's space below the wing and the trunk. There's a gap between the wing and the trunk. On this one, where it's all metal, which we'll see, there is no gap. It is solid. So these are different enough that we can keep them both in the fleet. This one weighs in at 36.5 grams. And let's take a look at it over here. I have got to get a new chair. This thing keeps sinking down. All right, this is the 2011 custom Camaro. I am going to be using the information on the bottom of the car because that is how. So if a student picks this, they have to enter the information, and that's what they're going to use, the information that's on the bottom of the car versus whatever is on the package. And it's funny because for the students who don't know, I'm just checking the name again. 2011. This is just 2011 Camaro. Custom. We'll call this the custom 2011 Camaro. For the students who don't know, usually I'll have to explain to them because on the bottom of the Hot Wheels cars it will say, there's a lot of information, and they'll think the name of their car is Malaysia or Hong Kong or something like that. And so I have to explain that those are manufacturing locations and not the name of the car. All right, let's see here. We are going to get our video of this car. It looks pretty good. Now, let's talk about that wing. That wing in the back it's solid. And so if you look, you can see right there, between the trunk and the wing, there is no gap. It's just a space. So that means that wing is not going to function anywhere remotely close to how the wings on cars are supposed to work because the air cannot pass over, and it can only go over. It can't go under the wing. And if the air can't go under the wing, then it can't produce the, on the real cars, it can't produce the downforce. But when the wing is blocked off like that, so that the air cannot pass through, it's not going to be helpful, put it like that. And I think when we put this car in the wind tunnel, we'll see that. But also, if you look at the front of the car, it's got a lot of frontal area and no space or area for the air to pass through, and that is probably going to work against this car in the long run, especially with some of the cars that we have that it's going to be facing. Some of the viewer picked cars are not cars that are gonna have the same kind of problems. We put 3 of those cars, actually we put all 4 through in the wind tunnel, and they look good. We should have the BlitzSpeeder may be getting challenged. Whichever car comes out of the races today, I think is going to give the BlitzSpeeder a solid run for its money. So we're going to see. So far we've got that F1 car, which is very light, but you never know. Maybe that's the car. I have a feeling that car is going to slow down toward the back end of the track, but that's just my guess based on everything that I've watched in all these races. We have the this Camaro, this 2011 Camaro. So let's see what car is up next. 2011 Camaro. I like the look of that car though. I just don't know if that wing situation is going to be a problem. All right, what other options do we have? We have this one, the 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth. So let's go ahead and check and see if we have one of these. 87. We have an 87 Dodge D100. Let me check 1987 just to make sure, because sometimes that's how I get tripped up and end up with duplicate cars in the fleet. There is no 1987. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. 86 and 88. All right, we're good. This one is going in. It is part of the 80s collection. And there's not really much information on the back. Just go back in time with these favorites from the 80s. Okay, sure. 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth. Let's crack it open. All right, this car feels kind of light. It's a metal body on a plastic base. Weighs in at 35.8 grams. So it's right at the sort of top end of what we consider that sweet spot, which is that range between 32 and 36 grams, where most of the cars that have done really well on the track, where they settle. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one as we get our video here. Nice color combination. I like all that contrast with the red and white and black. The gold wheels are a nice little touch there. This is car number 1026. And the wing situation at the back, the wings raised up. And let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. This is car 1027. 1027. Back end is flat. That's going to be good for pressing right up against that launching block. The 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth. Nice. Okay. Got this. Now that frontal area, it does have a pretty big frontal area. Is that going to work against it? It's not. It's definitely not going to help. I do like what they did with the headlights. It's not just a sticker or paint. They're actually little plastic pieces there for the headlights. Good looking car. I'll be interested to see this one in the wind tunnel as well, because I want to see if the air actually flows down, if it breaks off from the roof, or if it flows down and interacts with that wing. And if so, I want to see how that happens. Let's get our still picture here. Zoom on in. And we have car number 1027. 1027 car. That's just a lot. If you had told me when I was a kid that, hey, and I was playing with the same couple of Hot Wheels cars all the time, if you had told me, hey, one day you're going to have 1027 Hot Wheels cars and counting, I would have been thrilled. And I am still actually thrilled right now that I have these cars and I have a chance to put them on a track. Even it's probably 4 times the size of the track that I had when I was a kid, and still enjoy racing these cars. So now we have the 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth. We have that F1 Alpine BWT car, and we have the 2011 Camaro. We are moving right along. I am being good as far as taking the cars from the storage, even though I'm very tempted to go into that bag and at least take one of those cars from the my latest Target run. So let's see if we can get another of these cars in here. See if we can get another Camaro in here. We've got a 69 Camaro convertible. First of all, let me check on this Cosworth. What's the manufacturing year? 2021. All right. 2021. Now, let's see if we already have one of these Camaros in there. It looks familiar, but I know that we have lots of old school Camaros. I just don't know if we have this one, the 69 Camaro. 69 Camaro convertible is car number 813. So, we have it, which means this one is a prize car. I think the other one that we have is gold. Let me just double check. What number? 813. Yeah, I have got to. I'm going to have to make sure that I switch this page up so that on here I just have them all loaded up. What did I say? Car 813. There's so many different types of cars. There's the dog fighter. I saw the solar reflex in there. The mystery machine, the Mustache, the Buzz Lightyear car. Just so many different types. And when I see them, some of them, the long block, that SpongeBob rainbow car, the Matt and Debbie Hayes, that one with the really long, the Matt and Debbie Hayes 1998 Pro Street Thunderbird. That one. It's a cool looking car. And it's funny because some of these I'll look at them and then I can remember when we raced them. Others I have no idea. All right, 813. Yeah, this is the exact same car. Well, at least I have consistent taste because I picked up the same car. But all that means is this one is going into the prize bin. Prize bin is getting a little hefty. All right, let's see what I can do. Can I pull out something that's not in the prize bin? And this one I only know is is already in the fleet because Roughshod picked a version of it last week, and it was this one, the Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid Sport Turismo, and just gonna double check to make sure this is the same car, but I'm pretty sure that it is. Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid Sport Turismo. Yep, because it was white, and it was the one with the fantastic aerodynamic profile. Had this little roof spoiler, and when that air, instead of detaching at the roof, it hit that little spoiler, and it dropped straight down to the back of the car. So there was that. So another prize car. All right, let's see about this one, the Subaru WRX STI. I seem to remember this one as well. Subaru WRX STI, car number 457, prize car. This one, we'll do it, but I don't know if it's going to fit on the track. We'll try it out. We'll see. This Nissan Patrol Custom, and let me just double check. Nissan, we don't have this one. So let's go ahead and crack this open, and then we'll see if it fits into the launcher. If it does, then I'll read the information on the back. If it doesn't, we'll move on. All right, let's see. Let's hope it fits. I have a blank launcher here. Does this fit? No, it does not. See the wheels? The wheels are too wide. It won't fit in there. So, it's a cool looking truck, but it doesn't fit in. It even has like little cutouts in the engine. I like this. Too bad. Doesn't fit in. I'll have to figure something out for trucks. I had an idea, but it's going to take a while for me to engineer and create that. So, all right. This one, Nissan Patrol Custom, doesn't fit. I'll just stick this. I have a whole box full of trucks, so I'll put that in the truck box. Let's see. Can we find something that we don't already have? This Nissan Maxima drift car. I know that we have one of these. We have two of these. One is white and one's off-white and one's blue. So this one is a prize car. Kind of car. I like this. It's a cool looking car. I guess that other one is in this Hot Wheels, these Japanese import collection. So usually when I take these out of the storage, they're kind of grouped together. So we will see what we've got. All right, here's one that, Matchbox. It is the 1975 Opel Kadett Coupe GTE. And, Matchbox cars don't typically perform well on our track. They just don't. And Mattel makes both sets of cars, but there's something different about the Matchbox cars, and the majority. Every once in a while we get a Matchbox car that's like surprising, but for the most part, they just don't perform well on the track. So we'll see. Maybe we can put the Nissan Patrol Custom in the wind tunnel. Yeah, since I've already cracked it open. Let's take a look at this one. Not sure what made me pick this car up. It's not, well, first of all, it's 34.6 grams. And let me put it up on the stand. And go ahead and grab a still picture of this one. I just don't imagine this car ever getting picked. It will race today, and this might be the first and last time that it is ever seen on the track, because unless it turns out to be a sleeper car that is extremely fast, I just can't see any student picking this. And let's go ahead and I'll grab the video. It would be nice. It would be nice to have a Matchbox car that is fast and can compete with the Hot Wheels cars. But it's just what we found is the Mattel cars just don't compete. They're not as fast. And I did see. I didn't look too far into this. So I don't know if it was something somebody created with AI or if it's a real thing. But I saw that there is supposed to be a Matchbox movie coming out starring John Cena, which seems odd, but that they would make, if they had a toy line to choose from, that they would choose Matchbox over Hot Wheels. But I guess Hot Wheels is already enough of an established popular brand that maybe if the movie is popular, it can boost Matchbox sales. I don't know. I didn't look for a trailer. Someone just sent me a screenshot, so I don't know if that was real or just something someone made up. But maybe there's going to be a Matchbox movie, and maybe there'll be some more information about it. Maybe because for the movies, they'll have press events, and maybe when I used to work at a newspaper, I used to go to those, and maybe if they have something, I can go and get some information about these Matchbox cars and the manufacturing and why they're always slower than the Hot Wheels cars. And so maybe that's an opportunity. As for this one, the back end is flat. That's a plus. I like what they did. The Matchbox cars always have very good detail, and I like what they did with the license plate and the tail lights and the little car logo right there on the right part of the trunk. But other than that, when we're talking about the other cars that we were looking at, that F1 car, the cars we've got coming up, the BlitzSpeeder, I can't see this car competing. I hope it does, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so we've got the 1975 Opel Kadett Coupe GTE, and the manufacturing year is 2021. Here's another thing that's interesting. I don't know what this means on the Matchbox cars, but they have this little elephant on the back, on the bottom, right there. See that little elephant logo? I don't know what that means or why there's an elephant on the bottom of the car. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but there it is, right there. And let me get that year in here, 2021. And this Ford Cosworth was also 2021. So clearly I'm at the 2021 section of my going through the storage bins. All right. What next? We've got 4 of these cars introduced. I'm going into the bag. I'm going into the bag of the cars that I just picked up. And gonna see. Well, here's one. This isn't going in because it's already in. But here's that Supercharged, which is very similar in design to this one, the Mustang funny car. So this one I picked up because there's something that I want to do, just an experiment, but that's why I picked this up. So that's not going into the fleet. That's going over here. What else did I pick up? Oh, here's another one not going into the fleet, but it's the Porsche 911 Carrera, the keychain. And they had one of these. It was an El Segundo Coupe that was a keychain, and then they eventually put wheels on it and made it a car. Well, this is just the Porsche keychain, so maybe I didn't get as many new cars as I thought. All right, here we go. This is the one that we're bringing in. This is pretty cool. This is the Toyota Prius Custom, and this is based on that new Prius design, which I actually like. I think it's kind of cool. New for 2026. What's it say in the back? Born in 2025, Toyota City, Japan. Designer Toyota. This customized hybrid icon dominates the streets with its aggressive wide-body kit, slam stance, and race-ready splitters. Perfect for road trips, highway sprints, or show-stopping car meets. All right, let's crack this open. The Toyota Prius Custom. I like this. And I picked it up. I'm pretty sure if this is popular, they're going to have different colors. And I'll probably find a color that I like a little better than this. But this one's nice. I like this one. Let's take a closer look. First of all, the weight is 30.7 grams. So good on the weight. And let's go ahead and drop it in here. And switch over. And take a look. Now, what I like is, so look at that, like right on the top. It's got this, I don't even know what to call this big sort of scoop thing coming up. And when you see the profile of the car, it'll be a little more clear. but it's definitely different. I don't know that I've seen a car with this. It's like a fin type thing, and I'm not sure how or if that's going to help this car at all. When I look at the car, especially that profile, I'm thinking that if it didn't have that, it would probably have better aerodynamics than with it, because the air is going to come when we put this car in the wind tunnel. I think that the airflow is going to come up the windshield and then hit that thing, whatever it is, on the top, and it's either the airflow is gonna break off right at the beginning, or it's gonna sort of flow to the back and then break off. Whereas if that thing wasn't there, I think the airflow would kind of hit the windshield, slide up to the roof, and then right down the back, kind of like what we see with the BlitzSpeeder and some of our faster cars. But Toyota Prius Custom. But what we're going to find out with this one is, like some of these cars, we kind of do things backwards. Some of the cars we put in the wind tunnel first, then we see them on the track. Other ones we see on the track, then we put them in the wind tunnel. So we're going to see how this car performs and then see what happens afterwards. But let's take a closer look at this, that little scoop. Let's see if I can get it. It's just a strange thing to have right there, and I don't know what it is that this car is based on, or if that's supposed to be what it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to be a luggage rack. That's kind of what it looks like in this picture, because you can see it's lifted up, so maybe it's supposed to be a luggage rack of some kind. But in this picture, it's actually lifted up. It's not directly touching the roof of the car. On this, it is absolutely touching. It is just a plastic piece that's kind of mounted in. So we'll see what happens with this, but still a cool looking car. And we're going to find out. So the Toyota Prius Custom is the latest car to be entered into the fleet. It is car number 1029. 1029 cars. We are really adding to the fleet in a serious, consistent way. And we now have our lineup of cars for today, but we have viewer picked cars, and I am going to go and grab those cars. There are 4 of them. I'm going to go grab those cars. If anybody just stumbled across this and you're saying, I don't understand what's going on, all you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose your car. You will be taken to this page, and on this page you can scroll through and see all of the cars in our fleet. And if you see a car you think that would be faster than any of the cars that we have introduced, then all you have to do is take the number of that car, drop it in the chat. I will pull that car, and just like that, if you can get your pick in the next few minutes, then you will be entered into the tournament, and we will see which of these cars is the fastest and which car is going to take on the BlitzSpeeder. So AtTheTrack.live, choose your car. Boom, you're right there. Okay, I'm going to go grab those cars. I'm going to throw up the little bathroom break graphic. It's not going to take me 5 minutes to grab these cars, but I will be back in a minute or two. here is, we're going to go, first up, we'll take a look at this one. This is one that was picked by Caitlin, and we raced this not too long ago. I don't remember how it performed, but it is the Instant Boost, which is the Starbucks coffee cup themed car. Weighs in at about 27.2 grams, which is pretty light, but it, I think the problem, we put this in the wind tunnel, and so it's a coffee cup tipped on its side. The base of the coffee cup, which is the front of the car, it presents a large kind of surface area right at the front. And with this being a smaller, lighter car, I think it needed to be a little more streamlined in order to really not have that resistance. So the air, a lot of the air was building up right here before it moved over, and around the car. And I think that's going to work to slow this thing down on the back end. That car and the F1 car, I think the F1 car probably would beat this one out, but these lighter cars really need to be much more aerodynamically sound if they are going to compete. So that is the Instant Boost. The Instant Boost will be making another appearance on the track, its second appearance. We also have Christopher selected this, what was this? There's no name on the bottom of it. We were just talking about it. Anyway, well, he'll tell me, I'm sure. 36.6 grams for the, what was it? It's the one with the faster than ever wheels. I had these written down. It is the Lotus. I think this is the Lotus. No. Is it? You have to help. You have to help me out because I didn't write down which car this is. But whatever it is, it has the faster than ever wheels. I think it's a Lotus, and the Lotus. I don't know. I don't remember which one. But anyway, faster than ever wheels. There's a nickel-plated axle, and that reduces the amount of friction that the wheels experience when they're spinning, and allows them to spin freely and more fast and faster without as much friction, and therefore the car should be faster down the track. So we are going to find out if that is the case for this car. Right now it's a mystery car because I didn't write down and don't remember you know what, this would bug me. So let me go to the spreadsheet, sort it, and I am looking. It is the Lotus Esprit. That's it, the Lotus Esprit with the faster than ever wheels. I am going to write that down because it is car number 657. 657. It is the Lotus Esprit with the faster than ever wheels. And I think that this one, the aerodynamic profile was good. The air didn't really build up too much at the front, flowed over the top, and then when it hit the roof, it came off. This one also has the little roof spoiler right here, which we've seen with that Porsche Panamera Turbo, Turismo, etc. That had it and really improved the aerodynamic profile. This one's a little different. It's not exactly the same, but the air flowed right over the top of that roof and onto that wing, and that's what you want to happen. So, excuse me, we'll see how this one does. The Lotus Esprit. And just double checking, the weight on this one is 36.6 grams. So we are good to go there. Next up is Never Ending. He picked this one, the Hot Wheels Warp Speeder, which is probably, if I had to pick one of the cars that I've seen so far, this is probably the one that I think I would expect to at the very least, to be in the finals. Because, so first of all, it's plastic body on a metal base, but it has all of these openings. So if we look at the front, right there in that grill, it actually it's wide open. Whereas some of the cars, like that Camaro, for example, the grill is closed. It's kind of sealed off. So the air that hits the front of the Camaro has to go over, under, and around. Well, the air that hits this car right in the front, because it's open, it's going to go over, under, and around, but it can also go through. It's going to go right through into the body of the car, and then this area is open here. So the air can flow through there, come up here, and either break away or keep flowing, in some cases, right through past the back wheels. But at any rate, the air is not going to be building up at the front part of this car. It's just going to flow right through. It's going to flow over. It's going to flow under. So there's nothing to really impede the airflow. The cockpit here is open, but the air that flows through can just flow right out. We've had some cars, there was a Lamborghini Centenario that we had in the wind tunnel, and we could see that the air was just kind of dropping into the driver's compartment. It was a convertible, and the air was just dropping in there. With this one, even if air drops in, there's places where it can flow out. So this car really should do well on the track, I think. I would expect this one to be in the finals based on what we've seen today. But there is one more. There is Roughshod's pick, which is probably the most unique of the cars we have going today. It is the Chevroletor. It is weighing in at 31.4 grams, which is pretty light. Let me see if I weighed the Warp Speeder. The Warp Speeder comes in at 30 grams even. But this one, the Chevroletor, or Chevroletor, I don't know. It's just spelled Chevrolet with an O-R on the end. So Chevroletor, but you don't put it Chevrolet, like you don't pronounce the T at the end of Chevrolet. So Chevroletor, I don't know. Either way, this is the car. And when you talk about nothing to impede the airflow, that's this one. There is nothing up top to break up that airflow. We've had this car in the wind tunnel. Looked good. The air, as expected, just kind of flowed right over the top. Had a little bit of a bump here with where the driver's canopies are, or the cockpit areas. But for the most part, air just flowed right across there, off the tail, and that was it. This car looks to have I don't know if these are necessarily faster than ever wheels, or just the 5-spoke wheels, but just based on the aerodynamic profile, I would think that this car should, I will not be surprised if the finals matchup is this car and the Warp Speeder, because this one is just unique, and it seems like a perfect pick for our track. The back end, pretty flat right there, so that's going to press up nice against the launching block, and we will see what the Chevroletor can do. So that is our field. We have the Chevroletor, we have the Instant Boost, we have the Warp Speeder, We have the Lotus Esprit with the faster than ever wheels. That's always an interesting kind of wild card to throw in there. We also have our other cars that were introduced today, which are the 2024 BWT Alpine F1 Team car, and the 2011 Camaro, the 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth, the 1975 Opel Kadett Coupe GTE, and the Toyota Prius Custom. So we have our cars lined up, ready to go, the setup, and now all we have to do is run through what it is you're about to see. If you're just stumbling across this and you're like, hey, I'm kind of curious about what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen. You are about to see our 3-camera track view. The cars are going to start in the launcher at the top of the screen on the left. I'm going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I'll hit the switch. The cars will come firing out of the launcher. They will go from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They will go from top to bottom, passing out of the screen and showing up at the top of the screen on the right. Our finish line camera, the cars will go from top to bottom, passing the finish line, crossing the finish line, and the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light will indicate the winning car. A flashing red light will indicate the losing car. So solid red light, winner; flashing red light, loser. If a car crashes and leaves the track, no problem. We will simply reset those cars and run that race all over again. No problem. If the same car crashes twice consecutively, leaving the track, well, too bad for that car, because it is now disqualified. Because if a car crashes twice in the exact same way on our track, usually what that means is there's some problem with the car that is not going to be solved by just rerunning the race. So if a car crashes twice consecutively, it is disqualified. If a car flips on its side, flips upside down, does something else weird in a crash kind of way, but does not leave the track, well, that's too bad for that car. It simply loses the race. We've had cars that have flipped up and been on their roof and slid down the track, and that's a crash, yes, but they didn't leave the track, so it's kind of on them. All right, we are ready to go. I have all the cars. We've got the rules taken care of. We are ready to go, so I will see you over at the track in 30 seconds. All right, let me just double check the audio. And 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, we are good to go and ready to race at the track live. We have the fastest Hot Wheels races online, and we are going to find out which of these cars is in fact, let's see, which of these cars is going to challenge the BlitzSpeeder for the title of fastest in fleet car. We've got some very interesting picks. I think we are going to start off with, we'll go with this Instant Boost car. And we'll put this up against the Matchbox Opel, the 1975 Opel Kadett Coupe. I think that these two cars probably have, let me make sure that the instant boost doesn't need a boosted up acrylic cover, and it does not. So we are going to see, oh, there we go, which of these cars is going to move on. And it's a little bit of I don't know, a bias. If I'm just looking at these cars trying to figure out which one I think, like there's two things. You're trying to figure out which car is fastest, but I'm also looking at which cars I think would be slowest. And these are the two that for different reasons I think will be slower. The Matchbox, the Opel, is in lane 1. The Instant Boost is in lane 2. And I think the Instant Boost will probably take this, but this is why we have to race the cars, because I don't know. So let's see what happens. Instant Boost lane 2, that's Caitlin's pick. And we have the Opel Kadett in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, that Instant Boost had a boost, and that was a good solid performance from that car. And it looks like we might have a fast track today, and this is exactly what I want. And what I wanted when I designed this launcher, I wanted fast Hot Wheels races. I want to know which car is the fastest. The more speed, the more force we can apply to these cars, the faster they will move, and the more drag will impact them, the more Newton's third law of motion, about every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. The more that law comes into play if these cars are off track a little bit. So we are setting up for race number 2 with the Instant Boost now in lane 1 and the Matchbox Opel Kadett in lane 2. Can the Matchbox come back and force a third race? We're going to find out. Race number 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. The one plus I will say, so the Instant Boost took it. The big plus with the Matchbox cars is that the wheels make this little buzzing sound that I really like. Like, maybe I can catch it. It's just this little interesting buzzing sound that the wheels make. It's very cool. That's the only thing cool about the Matchbox cars on our track, because they just don't win. They just don't, for whatever reason. All right, so the Opel Kadett is back in the garage, and now let's go with, we'll go with this F1 car. Again, well, let's see. We'll go with the F1 car against the Chevroletor. That's kind of an interesting matchup. I'm definitely curious to see how this performs. Yeah, the Mach-It Go. I think we may have that one in the fleet. I definitely, that's a name that sounds familiar. So it may be, I think we may have that one. All right, we're putting the Alpine F1 car in lane 2. We're putting the Chevroletor in lane 1. I like this Chevroletor. I like the look of it. It's just a cool kind of futuristic design. All right, we've got the Chevroletor in lane 1. We have the Alpine F1 car in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Nice close race. Chevroletor takes it. Chevroletor, whatever it is, it was first place. First across the finish line is indicated by the solid red light, and it wedged itself under the barrier that I have to stop the cars right at the end. Get this back in place. All right. That was race 1. We are going to switch lanes. Now, the thing with the F1 car is it's very light, and that is not usually the best prescription to win on our track. But there's also the issue that F1 cars are more concerned with downforce than aerodynamics so much. So it's not like that is the aerodynamic profile of this car is going to do it any favors on our track. So we are lining it up, and we now have the F1 car. We have another one of these. It is the Red Bull version, but we've got the F1 car. This version is the Alpine BWT F1 car, and it is in lane 1, and we have the Chevroletor in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Chevroletor takes it again, as indicated by the solid red light at the end. So Roughshods pick is moving on, and once again it's so low it gets wedged right under the finish line barrier, but that's okay. So now we have 2 cars that have moved on. So far it's been 2 viewer picks. Caitlin's Instant Boost, Roughshod Chevroletor. And we are now, let's go ahead and we're going to go with, let's go with Christopher's Lotus Esprit with faster than ever wheels against we'll take it up against that 2011 Camaro and see how that all works out. And get these cars lined up. That Camaro, we have another version of it in the fleet, but the other version has a plastic wing that is set up a little bit differently than this one. So we're putting the Camaro in lane 1. We are putting the Lotus Esprit with faster than ever wheels in the number 2 lane. If I can get it to stay put, which is not happening. All right. Nope, still not. Get it in there. All right, there we go. All right, Camaro. The 2011 Camaro is in lane 1. The Lotus Esprit, faster than ever wheels, is in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Ooh. And that Camaro smashes into the barrier right out of the gates, leaves the track. So we will restart that race. It's a pretty violent, when these cars hit that first barrier, this is why cars that have open wheels, when they hit that barrier, it's a wrap, because there is so much force these cars are coming out with. When they hit this barrier, this is wood, and I'll have to take a picture, maybe post it, but there are just like chunks taken out of the wood where these cars have slammed into it. So there's a lot of force that these cars hit that barrier with when they crash, and that is what happened with this 2011 Camaro, which there's not really, I think it just got a bad launch. There's not really a reason I see that it should be crashing consistently. So hopefully it can stay on the track and we can get this race completed. All right, restarting the race. The Camaro is in lane 1 and the Lotus Esprit with the faster than ever wheels is in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woohoo! That was a close race. The Camaro had the lead. The cars were kind of even. For most of the race, the Camaro pulled ahead slightly, but towards the back end, the Esprit caught it and passed it and won that race. And as you can tell from the solid red light, the Lotus Esprit won. And that was a very close race. We are going to switch lanes. The Lotus Esprit will be in lane 1. And the Camaro in lane 2. Get these cars lined up and see. Ooh, this launcher. All right. And we've got the Camaro. Trying to get it lined up. Got to get these cars pressed right up against the launching block. That is key. That is very important to get them a good, solid launch. All right. We have the Lotus Esprit with the faster than ever wheels in lane 1. We have the Camaro, the 2011 Camaro in lane 2. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow, that's very interesting because the Camaro again had the lead. It had a good solid lead for the first half of the track. Second half, it started to get a little closer, and that last third, the Lotus Esprit just pulled past it. And so when we talk about that, one car catching another car and passing it, we already have established that what that means is that one car was slowing down. So in this case, the Camaro was slowing down. And then you have to ask, well, why was the Camaro slowing down? And why was the Lotus able to maintain more of its speed? And the answer is usually going to be, it's going to have to do with drag. And gravity and the weight and friction can also come into play, but most of the time it's going to be drag. Now with the faster than ever wheels, the idea that the car has less friction occurring because the axles are nickel plated and the wheels are able to spin more freely. That could be a reason why the Lotus keeps up its speed. It's hard to say, but we are going to have another opportunity to take a look at the Lotus as it moves up with the other cars that have won. We are now going to go, we're going to go with that custom Prius, and let me make sure it can fit. All right, stand. And we'll put it up against the 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth from the 80s collection. So we've got this cool futuristic, well, I can't say it's futuristic Prius because these are actually out on the streets right now. So current day, modern day Prius versus this Ford Cosworth. And we have, there we go. All right, these cars are lined up, ready to go. We've got the Ford in lane 1. We have the Toyota in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Woo-hoo. That Ford was moving. So sometimes it's hard to tell. You know, I don't want to go based off just one race and one outcome, but that Ford was cooking down the track. Now, I don't know if the Prius, maybe there was some, I don't know, it could have gotten a bad launch, or maybe that luggage rack on the top really isn't all that helpful when it comes to drag racing. Hard to say. But there's still another race, at least one more race to run, and we will find out. Was it a fluke? Is it, or is the Ford, is this Ford Sierra Cosworth just that fast? I don't know. I never knew anybody who had a Ford Cosworth. I'd never even heard of it until I picked up this car, but that's not saying, that doesn't mean much, just a little side note. All right, we've got the Prius with its weird luggage rack thing lined up in lane 1. We've got the Ford Cosworth in lane 2. Race number 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Oh, that Ford was out. Okay, so the Ford is absolutely looking good and fast. The Prius, not so much. I had hopes for it. Hopefully, they will come out with a version of the Prius that does not have that luggage rack, because I have a feeling, we're going to put it in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, but I have a feeling that luggage rack is not doing this car any favors in terms of the aerodynamics. I think it's just an awkward thing that's up there disturbing the airflow. All right, we are down to 5 cars, and we have the Lotus Esprit with faster than ever wheels, the instant boost, the Chevroletor, the 87 Force Cosworth, and the Hot Wheels, the Warp Speeder, which is about to race. This is Never Ending's pick. We're going to go Warp Speeder versus, we're going to go Never Ending versus Caitlin. We're going to go Warp Speeder versus the Instant Boost and see which of these cars comes out on top. The Warp Speeder is definitely one of my picks to be our top car. At least, I think it will make the finals. My prediction was Warp Speeder and Chevroletor in the finals, but we've seen some speed out of that Ford. I wouldn't discount that one just yet. All right, we've got the Instant Boost in lane 2. We've got the Warp Speeder in lane 1. Race number 1, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Instant Boost. Instant Boost takes the race. All right. Good for that car. We are going to switch it up. I really thought the Warp Speeder was going to be the car that challenged the BlitzSpeeder. I mean, it just, but, well, a couple of things. When you look at the cars, and that's usually what we're doing, just looking at the cars and making our predictions, our guesses based around that, then it feels like and looks like the Warp Speeder should be a top car, a car that can compete with the BlitzSpeeder, just based on what we saw in the wind tunnel. But the wind tunnel is not the track. The wind tunnel just gives it gives some information, but it's not all the information. And if you were to just go by the aerodynamic profiles, the Warp Speeder would have won the race, but it didn't win that race. So we're going to see. This is race number 2. The Warp Speeder is in lane 2. The Instant Boost is in lane 1. Race number 2, here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Okay, so the warp speeder's not done. Maybe the warp speeder just had a bad launch in that first race. But here we go. We are going to our first race number 3 of the day. This is Caitlin versus Never Ending. This is the warp speeder versus the instant boost. And we will find out which of these cars is going to be moving on. We switch lanes after every race, which means that now the instant boost is going to be in lane 2 and the warp speeder will be in lane number 1, and we are ready to go. This is race number 3. Whichever car takes this race will move on. Warp speeder lane 1, instant boost lane 2, race 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Instant boost takes it. And that was interesting because the warp speeder came out and it actually went up right at the beginning. It kind of went up. It went up on 2 wheels. And then it got back on the track and completed the race. The problem is when you're racing a car that you're competitive with, where you know the race is going to be close, you can't afford for any kind of wobbles or issues with the start, with the launch. And unfortunately for the warp speeder, it went up on 2 wheels, came back down, and the time and distance that it lost during that little maneuver was just enough to open the door for the instant boost to take the race. All right, let's go now. We're gonna go with the Ford, with the '87 Ford Sierra Cosworth against Christopher's Lotus Esprit with the faster than ever wheels. And this should be an interesting race. That Ford looked really fast, but it looked really fast against what seemed to be a slower car. So we will see. I'm going to put the Ford in lane 2. We will put the Lotus Esprit in lane 1. Race number 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Another very close race. I had to look at the lights, and the solid red light indicates the Lotus Esprit took that race and is going to be up 1-0 as we switch lanes and see which car is going to be moving on to the finals. Is it going to be this Ford, or is it going to be the Lotus? The Lotus has looked very good, but that was a close race. So if we can get another good, solid, close race like that, then, hey, we are the winners. All right, getting the Ford lined up in lane 1. The Lotus is in lane 2. And we are ready to go. Race 2. Lotus lane 2, Ford lane 1. Race 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. The Ford takes it. We are going to race number 3. We are having, been some good races today. Some very good races. Other than that race with the Opel, the Matchbox car, we have had some good, solid races, and that's what we want. All right, so we are going to race number 3. This time, the Lotus will be back in lane number 1, and we will see which of these cars is going to move on. Lotus setting up in the launching block. The Lotus has the faster than ever wheels that have those nickel plated axles, and therefore that car, the wheels are able to spin a little more freely, less friction. Friction is one of the forces working against the forward momentum of these cars, but can it beat out the 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth, which is in lane 2, and the Lotus in lane 1, Ford lane 2, race 3. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. And the Ford pulls it out. Race was close, race was competitive, but the Ford Cosworth is moving on to the finals. The only question now is, will it be facing the Chevroletor or will it be facing the Instant Boost? We are about to find out. All right. We have two cars that have to race to figure out which car is going to the finals. This Instant Boost is this is the second time it has raced on the track. I don't remember how it did the first time around, but if you want to find out, all you have to do is go back and check on our YouTube page. If you check the live tab, you will see that all of the episodes of At the Track Live are listed, and there are time codes, so you can just jump into whatever part of the episode you want to see. If you just want to see the races, or maybe you want to see what we said about the Instant Boost when we first encountered it, you can look up that. You can click on the review for the Instant Boost, see what we said. All right, we have the Chevroletor Roughshods pick in lane 1. We have Caitlin's pick, the Instant Boost, in lane 2. Race number 1, here we go. This is the semifinals. Three, two, one, race. Wow, these have been some great races. Chevroletor, as indicated by the solid red light, took that race, and as per usual, it wedged itself right up under the barrier with its low stance. So we'll grab this one, and we will switch lanes with the Instant Boost. We'll move over to lane number 1, and the Chevroletor into lane 2. What will be the outcome? Let's see here. All right. We have the Chevroletor lining up in lane 2, looking to make a clean sweep and move into the finals against the 87 Sierra Cosworth. But the Instant Boost may not be ready to be recycled just yet. So Instant Boost lane 1, Chevroletor lane 2, race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, the Chevroletor took that one with a lot of speed and authority. It was not having another close race. It was like, let's put an end to this right now. So we've got the Chevroletor with its low profile sliding right on in to the finals, where it is going to take on this 87 Sierra Cosworth and see what is gonna happen and which car is gonna be the one to move on into the fastest in fleet competition. All right, we are going with the 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth. We're gonna line that up here. Ooh. All right. here we go. We are going to put the Ford in lane 1. We are going to put the Chevroletor in lane 2. This is our finals. I thought it would be the Warp Speeder and the Chevroletor. I got half the prediction right. Was not expecting the Ford to be as fast as it is. But here we are. Ford Sierra Cosworth in lane 1. The Chevroletor in lane 2. This is the finals. Here we go. Race 1. Three, two, one, race. Ooh. The Chevroletor had the lead. It had the lead until about the last third. And that's with this track, this is where things really kind of go down, is in that last third. That's when cars start to either slow down, other cars, that's where the aerodynamics and all that come into play. It's usually this last third of the track, and that is where the Cosworth was able to make its move and take that race. So the Ford Cosworth is one win away from taking on the BlitzSpeeder, and we are going to see if the Chevroletor can force a third and final race. Let's get these cars switched around, and we will put the Chevroletor in lane 1 and the Ford Sierra Cosworth in lane 2. This is race number 2. We've got the Ford Sierra 87 in lane 2. We've got the Chevroletor in lane 1. Race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Whew. The Ford, the 87 Ford Cosworth Sierra Cosworth takes the race and is today's champion. It did not even, that race was not as close as I expected it to be. The Chevroletor, absolutely, I mean, I expected it to make it to the finals, so it did that. It did its job and got to the finals, but there can only be one car that is the winner, and that car today is this 87 Cosworth. So now we're going to see, is this 87 Cosworth, is this the car that is going to knock off the BlitzSpeeder? That would be interesting. We know the BlitzSpeeder is not as indestructible and undefeatable as we may have thought about a year ago at this time. We know the BlitzSpeeder has and can be beaten. Question is the Cosworth the car to beat it? We're about to find that out, because we have the BlitzSpeeder lining up in lane number 1, our fastest in fleet car. It is the most dominant car we've ever had on the track, and it is back for, I believe, its 4th run as champion. The BlitzSpeeder is in lane 1. The Ford, the 87 Ford Sierra Cosworth, is in lane 2. This is race 1 for the fastest in fleet title. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Man. For as fast as the Cosworth is, and it's fast, the BlitzSpeeder just takes these races with so much ease. And when you watch it, it's kind of interesting. The Cosworth, though, it was trying to do that thing where it pulls up on the car at the end, and it was closing. It closed a little bit of the space on the BlitzSpeeder in that last third of the track. The problem is that the BlitzSpeeder's lead was already too big. There wasn't enough track, and there wasn't enough time for the Cosworth to come back and get back into the race. So that was a wrap. But it's still got an opportunity. It's still got an opportunity. The BlitzSpeeder is now in lane 2. The Cosworth is in lane 1. Cosworth has to take this race in order to force a third and final race. BlitzSpeeder lane 2, Cosworth lane 1, race 2, here we go. Three, two, one, race. Cosworth tried to close the gap, but once again, the BlitzSpeeder's lead was way too big, and the BlitzSpeeder remains our fastest in-fleet champion. I'm going to grab these cars up, head back into the garage, and we're going to take a look at the winners, the losers, and what's coming up. So the BlitzSpeeder remains our fastest in-fleet car. There is, the races just really haven't been all that close. And when you watch the BlitzSpeeder and some of these performances, you wonder how this car could ever be beaten. But it has been beaten, and that's just a fact of the matter. And it is likely that there is a car that can beat the BlitzSpeeder. We just haven't found it yet. And as soon as we do, then we'll be entered into a whole other area. But we're looking at a car that is pretty solid all the way around. And the car that beats it is going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. But being that we've seen it happen a few times before, I'm curious to watch it and see if it happens again and which car is going to be that car. Now, Christopher he's already lined up a couple of picks for to throw into the wind tunnel, and that he's considering, and that would be car number 159. Let's see what that is. 159 would be the Mazda Furai. Furai. This one. Okay. So we've got that one, car number 159. The Mazda Furai. And then he's also considering car number 172, which is this Ferrari F50. And this is one of the older versions. I believe that in this new partnership with Ferrari, they have introduced a newer version of this car. I haven't seen it. The only Ferrari that I have seen is the one that I got from Roughshod and Virgo. And other than that, the Ferraris that are currently in the fleet are older versions, but this one looks pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see how they perform in the wind tunnel and what that looks like, and which one that Christopher ultimately chooses. We also saw today. We saw this one. This car. This car performed much better than I expected, and it is going to be interesting to put this in the wind tunnel. because what I want to know is what happens with this air. We know that it's going to hit the front, come up the hood, up the windshield, to the roof line. What happens here? On a lot of these cars, we see that right about this area, the air starts to kind of break away from following the lines of the body of the car. On this one, I want to see if it drops down to get to interact with this wing. The wing's it's at about the same height that most of these cars' wings are, although it's not at the roof line, but it's just got a bit of a different design. This car does not have the little roof spoiler, which in the Porsche actually helped bring the airflow down so that it stayed attached to the body of the car, and that was really one of the most unique aerodynamic profiles that we've seen other than the BlitzSpeeder. But we're going to put this car in the wind tunnel and see what happens, and that is what we do around here. We're either putting cars in the wind tunnel or putting them to the test on the track at AtTheTrack.live every Saturday at 11 a.m. Pacific. But the main thing behind all of this is the science program all about aerodynamics. If you would like more information about that program, all you have to do is go to the website, aaAerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, aaAerodynamics, and you'll get all the updates, all the information is right there. But on Wednesdays, we are here at 4 p.m. Pacific, putting cars into the Funtech Labs Windsable, the wind tunnel, and getting an idea about how drag is going to impact these cars when they hit the track on Saturday. So we're going to put Christopher's cars in there. We're going to put this Ford in there. We're probably going to put that truck, that Nissan truck that was too big to race on the track. We'll probably put that in there. Just take a look at the aerodynamics of that truck. And that is what we do. It's a cycle. Wednesday, aerodynamics, a little bit more digging in depth to the science. On Saturdays, we put that science to the test on the track. And I've still got a bag full of Hot Wheels cars that I just bought. I've got crates of Hot Wheels cars. So I'm going to be looking for, every time I go out, now I'm looking for cars that I think can challenge the BlitzSpeeder, can beat the BlitzSpeeder. The last time I was able to make that pick is when I bought the Gazella R. And then the other cars that have beaten the BlitzSpeeder have been user picks. It was Never Ending picking the Dogfighter, and then it was a car that was introduced, I believe it was that Mercedes-Benz, that 3 or 500e. Beat it. So we're still looking for the car that can take out the BlitzSpeeder. Maybe you can find it. Maybe I can find it. Maybe it's just sitting in storage. I don't know. We'll find out. But until next time, I am Coach James for All About Aerodynamics, for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and for At The Track Live. And until next time, I'll see you at the races.